Welcome to the media studio at Enlit Europe in Frankfurt. Today I'm talking about the decarbonisation of assets away from fossil fuels, and I'm joined by Hemmat Safwat. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Pam. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm ready.
Fantastic. Let's talk about how do we successfully decarbonize energy-consuming assets to avoid the use of fossil fuels. Hemmat, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. As we look today, the fossil fuels are used into three major areas. The first one is power generation, where we generate electricity. The second one is in transport, and transport covers inland and marine and aviation. And lastly, industrial. These are the three areas. Each one requires a little different approach for decarbonization because of the nature of here. So when we come to power generation, the assets that we have are using fossil fuels, and those are the ones we need to decarbonize. This means that when we look, we find that in some parts of the world, there is still use of coal and then oil and natural gas. The amount of emission of CO2 from coal is the biggest, and then comes the petrol or oil, and then lastly, okay. So the real thing is we have to stop using coal, okay, and that's the direction the world is moving in. Secondly, petrol or oil, that's also moving forward in a positive. Natural gas, I think, we will have to stay with for some time, okay? But the goal or the target is also to get as much as possible down for the natural gas. That's in the power plants. When we go to the transportation, we will just take an example on land. Of course, we see now the hybrid electric here, and then we see the electric cars, and that is moving in a also good way. So there will be a gradual reduction. It cannot be overnight because so many cars are on the roads, and and that sometimes is easier to tackle things like buses or trucks, and so we have to also deal with this. Also, when we talk about marine, there is a big part there because we can concentrate on LNG ships and so on. Okay, when we go lastly on the industrial part, we have to try to avoid that as well here. And comes in the future, we will go in the direction of hydrogen as a substitute for these fuels. And more significantly, we have to reduce the consumption, which means saving of here so that we can satisfy the objective of sustainability, which preservation of resources, okay, for the generations to come.
Absolutely.
That's more or less in a short way summarizing the journey for decarbonization.
Thank you, Hemmat. If I can refer back to something you mentioned about natural gas. So you believe we will see natural gas persisting for some time and perhaps then moving into hydrogen, a gas to hydrogen situation?
Yes, I think, the goal to go to hydrogen or pure no carbon in the fuel is a natural goal, okay, and everybody should target. However, it will be some time before we can, really realize this. In my opinion, we have let's say a near term till 30 and a little bit till 50 I think, natural gas will continue in the first part, and maybe also in the second part, because it depends on how we can get economical hydrogen here. The hydrogen, and that's important to note, when we go to green hydrogen, it depends on the renewable assets. The renewable assets, are getting more and more difficult to realize because the sites are not readily available. This is why we had gone to the offshore in trying, because on land. And when we go to very large size renewable, naturally they are a bit far from the load or the demand. So we have to deal with transport, and the transport is bringing in, for the intermittent nature of the renewable, some aspects on when like solar is during daytime and not at night. So there is the storage issue, and we have to deal with that. And there is no simple solution to this. Hydrogen gives a bit here because it allows the transport from the sources, say in the Sahara, where solar resources are abundant here, but the demand is far from where that, and that is gives transport, storage, and these are things here. The digitization is another aspect that helps in trying to cope with the simultaneous load and here, like the summer and the winter and the day and night. So these are the things that we have to optimize in order to make best use of the resources and here. So this is more, to complete the situation. Yeah.
Hemmat, thank you so much. I wish we had more time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we are out of.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope that I managed, to give a synopsis of where we are and where we should go. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemmat, and thank you to our audience. If you want more insights, do follow us on our social channels, and do visit us at enlit.world.